Yo book nerds! Today I'm going to talk about book series that I've started but I haven't finished and that I really want to finish soon. I am horrible when it comes to remembering the names of certain series, so I may just call them by the title of the first book. But anyway, let's jump into it. So personally, I prefer to read a series all the way through because it's really hard for me to remember what happens if I wait, and I like to have the details fresh in my mind. And so it's really a bummer for me that I haven't finished these series because I most likely will need to reread the books that I've already read so that I can remember what happened and then continue on. Often what has happened is that I've read the books and then later they come out with another book that wasn't originally planned, and then I get that book because I want to have the whole set, but then I need to reread the other one so that I can read the newest one because I'm not going to remember everything that happened. So let's jump into it. The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants by Brashers. I hope I'm saying that right. I have read the first book in this series twice, I believe, and then I've read book 2, 3, and 4 once, and then I found out they came out with a fifth one, which I've never read. And I read them so long ago that I really only remember the first book. I don't remember what happens in book 2, 3, and 4 like at all. So I will definitely have to reread all of these so that I can read the fifth one. I believe this is called the Survivor series, or the Life as We Knew It series by Suzanne Pfeiffer. I have only read the first book in this series and not the other three. This is kind of a end of the world apocalyptic series from my understanding. The first book anyway is about the moon getting hit by an asteroid, I believe, and gets knocked closer to Earth, and it screws everything up with the weather. I read this when I was pretty young, and I remember like the overview of the first book but not a whole lot of the details, so probably will have to reread that one too before I read the other three. Peter and the Starcatchers by Dave Barry and Ridley Pearson. I've read the first book in this series and not the rest. I just recently got the fifth book. I didn't even know there was a fifth book until recently, so you'll be seeing that in an upcoming haul. This is a Peter Pan series, and I've read the original Peter Pan. I'm really excited to see what these authors do with this because I loved the first book. Quite an interesting spin on it. And so I'm excited to see where the rest of the series goes. I don't know if this next one is really a series or if they're kind of companion novels, but I'm going to count them here anyway. And it is Triangles and Tilt by Ellen Hopkins. I love Ellen Hopkins. A few years ago I had started reading Tilt, and then I found out that Triangles came before it, and I didn't know that, so I stopped reading Tilt. I DNF'd it so that I could get Triangles and read this one first and then read Tilt. I don't know that it's actually a real series, a real duology. And the reason I say that is because I believe Triangles is an adult novel and Tilt is more for a young adult. I could be wrong on that. That's just kind of what I've heard. But it's the same characters. I believe it's the parents in this one and then it's their children in this one. But I don't know much more than that, to be honest. The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I read the original trilogy a while ago and really enjoyed it. And then they came out with The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I have not read that one yet. So I'd like to read that and then reread the series, even though I remember what happens fairly well in the series, but I'd like to reread it with a new lens after reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Gone with the Wind and Scarlet. These are actually by different authors, so I don't know that you can technically call this a series. Gone with the Wind is by Margaret Mitchell. Scarlet is by Alexandra Ripley. I love Gone with the Wind as a standalone. I read this when I was in junior high on my own, not for school or anything. And I know it's such a controversial book, but I really enjoyed reading it. But then I found out about Alexandra Ripley's Scarlet, which is her sequel, and I believe they made a movie or a miniseries or something about it, which I saw a long time ago, but I don't remember a lot about it. I don't remember if it was a movie or a miniseries. But I've seen the movie Gone with the Wind so many times since I've read it, and I know that there were enough differences between the book and the movie that I definitely will need to reread this before I read this. And even though I've already seen the movie or miniseries or whatever it was so long ago, I really want to read the book and just see what happens with it. Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. My edition of Little Women also has Good Wives in it, and then Little Men, and then Jo's Boys. I have read Little Women, which includes Good Wives, but I read it so long ago, I remember the movie more than I remember the book, and I'm sure there were differences. And I haven't seen the newest movie. I've seen an older version of the movie, but I can't remember which one off the top of my head. So definitely need to reread before I read the other two. Those are the series that I need to finish. Let me know which ones you've read, which ones you think I should finish up first. I'm very excited. I like to try and read at least one series a year. With my current reading goals, I don't know how that will fit in, but I'd still like to try and get one series in there somewhere this year. So let me know what you think I should do first, which ones you loved the most, or which ones you hated the most. Because that's the great thing about books. We all can have our own opinion, and they're all valid. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jordan. I am a book nerd. You can follow me on Facebook if you have Facebook. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. I put out videos every Monday, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for talking books with me.